Hey my loves, it's Chani. Welcome to this video. If you're new here, welcome. If you are not, welcome back. Either way, be sure that you are subscribed and you hit that notification bell so you don't miss another video. So today I want to remind you how pleasure is your birthright. We are ultimately beings created from and created to experience pleasure. Now, of course, we're made for more than feeling good, but ultimately everything we do ends up pointing to the pursuit of more pleasure, right? The things that we do in our day-to-day life, why we seek stability, success, fulfillment, relationships, friendships, why we pursue our passions. It's all, of course, for fulfillment, but it's really just to feel good. And this is not a bad thing, right? Our bodies are vessels that carry our soul, that carry our spirit, for us to be able to experience life through the 3D, through our physical senses. And really, if we really want to experience the beauty of life, the pleasure of life, we need to come back into our body, tune into our senses, and be mindful in the moment. The problem with the human pursuit of pleasure is that often people are constantly looking for more. They're constantly hungry for more pleasure, for more excitement, to feel even better. But they're not really willing to do it the natural way. They're not really willing to take pleasure with everything else that it comes with all the other feelings that it comes with when you open yourself to feeling good. Because here's the thing about feeling. You can't just pick which feelings you want to have. You can't fully be present and pick to only feel good, to only feel happy, to only feel those light and love emotions without feeling the weight of sadness, of anger, of hurt. You can't really have pleasure without pain. And these two things are actually very closely related in the brain. There's been a lot of studies done with this in different ways. But it really all connects to when you're open to feeling, you're open to feeling everything. And a lot of people, they're not truly open to feeling. Many people are stuck in this state of fight or flight because they don't know how to sit with all their feelings. They don't know how to really sit within themselves, within their body. So they're slightly numb to life. They're slightly numb to all feelings. And so they never truly get to experience full pleasure, and they never really feel truly good because they're too afraid to really sit in and process those other painful emotions. There's this song by Bjork, Big Time Sensuality, and she says, "It takes courage to feel the hardcore and the gentle. It takes courage to open yourself to feeling all the feelings that run through you." But the thing is that once you do, you will be allowing yourself to experience life so much more fully, so much more deeply. And so how do we do this? We gotta stop running. We gotta stop trying to escape. When people are in that fight or flight, and they're still, of course, trying to feel good, their pursuit of pleasure is often misdirected, and they often can't seem to get enough of it because it's not coming naturally. It's not coming from being present and feeling good in the moment because they're not okay in the moment. They're not present in the moment. They're not present with themselves. So what do? They constantly scroll, and they're scrolling their life away. They are constantly in and out of toxic relationships, going back to toxic people. They turn to drugs. They, smoke their life away. They do all these different things in the pursuit of feeling good because they don't know how to feel good about themselves in the moment. So they're constantly seeking for more, and they're seeking for things outside of themselves to make them feel good. But nothing outside of you can truly make you feel good if you're not really present in the moment. The way that we can truly feel all of life's beauty, the way that we can truly feel good, is by really tapping into this physical vessel that we have, by truly tapping into our body and our being, by allowing ourselves to be present in all that we really are. So we do this through mindfulness. We do this through tuning into our physical senses, right? In the moment when you are going to eat. So often we're in that fight or flight. So what do? We quickly eat it up while we're watching Netflix, or, guilty of that. Or, we walk around while we're eating and we're not really present with our food, with our senses. But something I've been working on is when I'm eating, at least the first few bites, try to take a few deep breaths. And then I look at it with my eyes, experience it visually. And then I see the colors and I slowly taste it. I try to list, what am I tasting? What are the textures? And really tuning into the whole experience of eating. And when you do that, everything truly tastes and feels so much better. When you're walking outside, right, instead of just, okay, I'm going to get here, I'm going here, or looking at your phone while you're walking, really experience the world around you. Tap into the beauty of the moment by looking at the trees, the sky. Can you see the birds? Can you hear the wind? Can you hear the cars? What are you feeling? What are you seeing? What are you smelling? Tuning into it, and it becomes, instead of you're just walking, you're just going here, you're just walking to school, right? It becomes a whole sensory experience, and you truly get to enjoy the moment so much more. And so these mindfulness techniques, this will allow you to feel physically, but if we're still in the fight or flight mentally, and we are fighting and flighting from our feelings, from those harder feelings, instead of sitting in them, we're not going to truly be able to experience and feel all of those beautiful feelings in life. So we need to learn to stop running from them. And how do we do that? Well, we really need to allow ourselves, when these feelings are coming up, to not try to push them away, right? When you feel these intense feelings that you don't know how really to deal with, just sit in them. As horrible and hard as that can be and how it can feel, know that you are safe to experience all that you're feeling. See, these emotions are really kind of represented by water. I say, oceans of emotions. You gotta ride the waves, because if you're ever on the beach and you're standing on the shore, right where the waves come crashing, this is you, and the waves, boom, you're trying to stand so still, and eventually they're gonna knock you over. But if you can sway with the waves, if you allow yourself to be picked up and you bob up and down, right, you kind of ride the waves, and you're not going to be thrown underwater. So when it comes up, allow yourself to see it and experience it without judgment, right? If you gotta cry, then give yourself that space to cry. Like when I feel overwhelmed with my feelings, and I just feel like, almost it feels like you're drowning in them a little bit. Just remind yourself you're not drowning. Breathe through it, again, tuning into your breath, and allow yourself that space to really sit in it, allow it to flow through you. So I'll lay down and I'll be like, okay, what am I feeling? Okay, I'm feeling sad. Okay, I'm feeling hurt. Okay, I'm feeling scared. And I will tell myself why. And this isn't wallowing in it. This is allowing it to be expressed, because when you don't express your feelings, when you don't allow them to flow through you, the opposite of expression is depression, right? You're oppressing them and it all becomes this bottled up, stagnant, stiff energy. So you gotta allow yourself to feel that, recognize your feelings without judgment, even if you're like, oh, I shouldn't be sad, this and that and that. I should feel, there's no should feel, it's just what you do. And so sit in that. Allow yourself to cry, right? Allow yourself to feel it without having to overanalyze or intellectualize it or push it away or fight it. And then also, once you let that flow, you let yourself cry. I love to put on my little sad songs and just let that shit all flow out. And then, or before, or whenever, journal about it and write it out, right? Or you can even like record it in a notes app or something. Just get it out, and then you can look at, okay, so I'm feeling like this because of this. What can I do about it? Okay, what is there nothing I can do? Do I need to do something about it, or do I need to just be present and patient with it? Let it kind of ride out on its own, you know? And then you'll really be able to have clarity around your emotions, because so often our feelings, they feel so big and they feel so endless. And when we try to suppress them, then we really just, becomes bottled up energy, and it really stops us from feeling, and it kind of places a stagnancy that blocks the fluidity and the flow of our energy. So when that stuff comes out, it's important that we have a healthy outlet to release it. And then when we sit with it and we let it flow through, we can really bring so much more clarity and healing to all of our feelings. Like, just think of, what would your inner child need? If your inner child, this little kid, was coming to you crying, would you tell her, oh, not now, like, oh, you shouldn't be feeling like this, come on, pull it together? Or would you hold space for her? Would you embrace her and tell her that it's okay? Would you listen to her cry and tell you what her fears were? Would you, give her advice? Allow yourself to open your heart to that part of you, to embrace all that you're feeling without judgment. And then when you open your heart to all that you're feeling, you let it flow through, then you allow yourself to open your heart to feeling all of the love, all of the beauty, all of the good things, and all of the pleasure in life. We gotta tune into all parts of ourselves, hold space for all of it, right? The light, the part that feels good, and the shadows. When we tune into even the shadows, even those heavier, darker aspects of ourselves, those heavier feelings, then we'll be able to shed so much more light and feel so much more pleasure in life. We can't really have light without darkness, right? We can't stand in the sun without feeling a shadow. But if you truly want to if you truly want to bask in the sun, if you truly want to feel that warmth, you have to be okay with the shadows. I'm someone who feels things very deeply, and now I'm able to handle it all quite well, and I'm grateful for how deeply I feel, because ultimately it's helped me experience life more deeply. See, when these kind of heavier aspects of myself show up, I allow myself to hold space for them, to process them, and therefore I'm able to be quite regulated and to be able to ride the waves of life, of all my feelings, with grace. And now I feel pleasure in everyday life so deeply. Like, sometimes as I'm looking out the window on my way to school, or looking through, my camera roll pictures I took of nature, or I get in bed after a long day, and the bed is nicely made, the sheets smell fresh, and I just breathe it in, and sometimes my eyes just tear up a little bit. I know it might be a little dramatic, but I just feel it so deeply, and I'm able to embrace all that I feel. And so those good parts really just feel so good. Like, life just feels so good. And those parts that don't feel so great, the parts that are harder to deal with, the parts that we don't really want to feel that much, they're really not that bad. Like, they're a lot lighter to deal with, and I don't feel like I'm being consumed by them. I feel like there's something that's feeding me and helping me heal. I've done a lot of work to become very in tune with my body, to be very in tune with all that I'm feeling. And so when pain and rage and all these things come up, I don't suppress it. I sit with it. I look it in its face and I ask, what does it want? Where is it coming from? And I channel it in a healthy outlet. You know, I let it out. I let it run wild in its field so it doesn't go feral. It's a beautiful thing to feel so deeply and to be open to all that life has to give, to all of the feelings that we have within us. It's a beautiful thing to feel deeply. And pain is not something to fear. It is something that we can truly transmute if we allow ourselves to be present in it. And when we're present in all that we feel, we'll ultimately be able to feel so much more pleasure and ultimately feel how beautiful life is. It all starts with being present, truly present in yourself, to embrace the gift of life that runs through us and surrounds us. Those words have just been on the tip of my tongue for like a week now, so I'm glad that I got it out. And I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed, please make sure that you hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It means a lot to me. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!